On Overdrive today, we dive into the details of the all-new Kia Syros and look at the new additions in the ultraviolet F77 Super Street electric motorcycle. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. Kia is making its presence felt very aggressively in the Indian market in the compact SUV space with a very quirky looking and feature-rich Syros. Let's take a look.
Sub-4 meter SUVs are often seen as a game of compromise. You either lose out on the space, or settle for an average design, or sacrifice on some new age tech to meet that price point. Now Kia aims to change that narrative with this, the Syros. The Kia Syros is a bold departure from the mundane. Its angular styling and boxy silhouette exude confidence, while the geometric theme seen all throughout the car, even on the alloy wheels, adds a sophisticated touch. The big cladding over the squared wheel arches may look a bit much in the photos and videos, but impart the Syros a rugged stance. The car looks premium from all quarters, and that gives it an aspirational appeal. The floating roof effect adds to that sporty stance, makes it look quite sophisticated as well. And then when you move over to the lighting elements, all these vertical bits, they add a sense of height. And then you have the digital tiger nose, another Kia signature, which again aims at making the car look wide. So whether you look at the car from the side, the front or the front three-quarter, you know that it is a spacious car, and that definitely works in its favor. Step inside and the cabin immediately impresses. At the center of it all is the 30-inch Trinity display, a combination of a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, and a 5-inch touch panel for the climate control, which is only available, however, on the top trim. There is wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the interface is youthful and slick. Contributing further to the premium appeal are the myriad of cabin color options depending on the variant you choose. There is a beautiful interplay of textures that feel rich for the segment, and the high-tech vibe continues in here with switches and panels thoughtfully laid out. Other standout features include rear ventilated seats. Yep, you heard that right, a segment first, and even adjustable rear seats, both for reach and recline. The doors of the Syros almost open 90 degrees, and you also have a high hip point, which means that families that have elderly parents, elderly passengers, they are going to find the Syros to be a really comfortable car. I quite like it. Getting in and out of the car is quite nice. Now, the driver's seat is set to my driving preference. Knee room is pretty decent. Foot space is really good. Under thigh support is also quite nice. And then you have this airy feel coming from the panoramic sunroof. Now, even the lower trims are going to get a sunroof, though not panoramic. Even the windows, again, nice and big. So the boxy silhouette that we saw on the outside, that definitely translates to a lot of space. You also get these window blinds, which is another thoughtful addition. But what I really like for the rear seat is that you can adjust the reach to improve knee room even further. And you can also recline the seat in case you want to get a nice, comfortable snooze in here. When was the last time you could sit cross-legged in the back of a sub-4 meter crossover and still leave enough room for the front passenger to sit comfortably? I can't remember. That is the money shot for the Syros. The kind of rear seat comfort that it offers is simply phenomenal. And it's not just with the contouring of the seat or the way the seat is laid out. It's also the ride quality that you get at the back. Even with 4 people sitting in the car, there's going to be absolutely no problem at all. The suspension tuning is spot on. The view outside of the windows also quite nice, and what I really like is that the window line is pretty low. So even if you were to put your child in a child seat with the ISOFIX mounts right here, they're still going to get a nice view outside. So they're also not going to feel claustrophobic or bored back here. So I think the rear seat is very well thought out. Right then, so the Kia Syros is going to be available with 2 powertrain options. The 1-liter petrol creates headlines because it can be had with a 6-speed manual. I'm already smiling. Well, let's just launch the car. This is a 1-liter turbo petrol engine which delivers 120 PS and 172 Newton meters of torque, paired with either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed DCT or dual clutch transmission. The DCT is blisteringly quick and tuned very nicely for Indian conditions, meaning that it's reliable too. But the manual has my heart, and there is no IMT as of now. Now the clutch itself, not too heavy at all, so even if you were to make this choice, you are not going to be really penalized too much, even if you stay in cities that have a lot of bumper-to-bumper traffic. So the clutch doesn't feel cumbersome at all. Modulating the clutch in slow-moving city traffic, again, no problem at all. And when you are in the mood, this engine just builds up speed very quickly, and the shift quality from this manual is superb. The Syros also comes with the Kia Connect 2.0, which is their new age connected tech suite, which, like the Carnival and the EV9, can help you, the service center or the call center, remotely diagnose up to 16 various ECUs inside the car. And the service center can even roll out over-the-air fixes in case there is any software-defined glitch. In a nutshell, most cars do OTA updates for the infotainment alone, but the Syros can do it for some of the car's vital components too.
Well, there's a lot more to tell you about the Kia Syros. After this very short break, come right back. You're watching Overdrive. Welcome back here with us on Overdrive. Now, unlike the Kia Sonet and the Seltos, which were preceding the Syros, with the Syros, Kia is making a very strong commitment to the Indian market that the brand is not just here to stay, but to thrive. Let's dive right back into the Kia Syros review.
Which is going to be the ideal Syros for road tripping now that you have this kind of space in it? Well, it is going to be the diesel. Even in 2025, you still have the option of buying a diesel in a sub-4 meter vehicle, and that is a big deal. In fact, that's the one that I'm driving right now. This is the lovely 1.5 liter diesel. And let me tell you, you'll have to be told that this is a diesel. It is extremely refined. No gravelly note, no pedal vibrations. Nothing inside the cabin will tell you that this is a diesel. That is how refined it is. It puts out about 116 PS of power, but more importantly, it puts out 250 Newton meters of torque, which means that it is a torque monster. But at the same time, it has been fine-tuned. This one here is mated to the 6-speed automatic transmission, the torque converter, and if I were to put my foot down, it just cleanly starts building speed, and rapidly at that. In the urban settings, the turbo petrol feels lively, zipping through the traffic with ease. On the highways though, it holds its own, but might leave enthusiasts wanting a bit more punch. The diesel, on the other hand, is the long-distance cruiser and should easily return 16 to 18 kilometers per litre in the real world. So if you want to do a lot of road tripping, the diesel is still going to be my choice. And on the topic of road tripping, I already showed you that the rear seats can be adjusted for reach as well as recline. That will not only let you adjust your knee room, but also maximize boot space if you have to. You can literally get Kia Seltos levels of boot space if you so need. So big luggage, no problem at all. Luggage for the entire family for a weekend's worth of trip, no problem at all. Continuing on the topic of road tripping, you also get 3 traction modes. So these are essentially like terrain modes, so it's going to give you snow, mud and sand. These are the 3 options that it's going to let you choose from. Now there is no all-wheel drive available on this car, definitely not in India, but these 3 will essentially affect the way the traction control works so that there is enough traction when you're tackling this kind of slippery or tricky terrain. It is a good piece of kit to have in a sub-4 meter vehicle like this. What I also like is how fine-tuned the ADAS systems are. Not just on open highways like these, but even in the city, it is quite fine-tuned for the Indian conditions. It isn't too intrusive or erratic, and the ADAS suite is closer in its functionality to the Seltos than the Sonet, making it a lot richer than similar tech that we've seen in other sub-4 meter cars. In fact, the safety suite of the Syros is quite a hefty one. 6 airbags and a lot of other safety tech is standard across all trims. While crash safety ratings are yet to be revealed, the Syros' safety package positions it as one of the safer choices in the segment, at least on paper. A common complaint that we've had with the Kia Sonet has been its stiff or firm ride quality. Those complaints have been addressed with the Syros. So if you are looking at a more comfortable offering from Kia in the sub-4 meter space, the Syros is definitely going to be it. Be it small bumps, ruts, joints, or even the bigger potholes that we every now and then come across in the city, I think the Syros has been quite well tuned to take on or to soak in all of those bumps without a problem. What I also like is the suspension remains pretty silent even on bad road conditions. With the automatic, the engine braking response is really quite good. You don't really have to be in the sportier driving modes or anything for it, but if you are, the braking response is that much sharper from the engine. That said, Kia claims that the Syros stops in a shorter distance than any of its rivals, and the fat tires and rear disc brakes definitely help in that regard. While the ride quality definitely feels like a marked improvement over the Sonet or the Seltos, it doesn't really compromise on the handling dynamics of the car. With the kind of powertrain options that you have and that 6-speed manual with the 1 liter, there are going to be quite a few enthusiasts who will also actively look at the Syros, and it's not going to disappoint you. It's definitely not as taut as what the Kailac feels. That's the other new entrant in the sub-4 meter space, but this is quite a nice car to drive, a fun car to drive. Key question, is it the most value for money offering in the sub-4 meter space? It definitely is in my books. It slots between the Sonet and the Seltos, so it's definitely pricey on the price list. However, the amount of tech and the kit that it offers, the kind of space it offers, the kind of versatility it offers, and the kind of comfort that it offers, I think it just ticks all the right boxes. So if you're looking for the maximum value for the money that you're putting down, this one has to be it.
With prices starting at 9 lakh rupees, it's undeniable that the Kia Syros is a very attractive compact SUV in the market today. But when you want to put your money on it, that's a choice you have to make and you have to figure out after a test drive for sure. We'll take a very quick break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we tell you what's changed in the ultraviolet F77 Super Street electric motorcycle.